can jumpstart a host of feelings and memories through Tuscaloosa and Baton Rouge. Moments of frustration, disbelief, and jubilation due to the battles that these two have had. From national championship games to season derailments, this rivalry has had it all, and we've got even more for you today. Welcome to the home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Zabien Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. As we'll see a participant from last year's playoff, the LSU Tigers, taking on the 22nd ranked team in the land, the Alabama Crimson Tide. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, here with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get this thing rolling. Alabama about to kick off to get this game underway. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So LSU's offense will have the football first. Seems like when these two get together, it's always a slugfest, and Alabama won a close one last season.
Yeah, it was Alabama that finished out the 12th round in that slugfest, too. It usually seems like the team that lands the last big haymaker wins, and that was the Tide last time.
I think that's why it's so important getting out the gates early. Both these teams know each other, don't like each other. Get out the gate strong.
He'll pull it on the read. Turning it on! That is just a gargantuan play as he has it all the way down to the 12.
All right, moving forward, this defense, they better be very aware when this quarterback decides to keep the football. That's a good decision by him, but now defensively, you not only have to worry about the running back, you got to worry about this quarterback getting to the perimeter and hurting you with the speed.
They just changed the dynamic of this possession in a heartbeat, and now it's 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. Caught in the backfield, it's Dawkins. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers. Direct snap. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Boy, they love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on 1st and goal. Shotgun snap, wants to throw it on 3rd. And he had it for a second, but it just dribbled out of his hands. This offense wants to establish an aggressive identity. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. They got him for the sack, and now got the ball back after the 4th down stop. So Alabama's offense will take the field for the first time. And what a performance, an aerial show from this guy in the last game, and he has to have a ton of confidence coming into this one, David.
Yeah, it was a great week. And watching that tape before this game, like you could tell, man, he was seeing it quick. The ball was coming out, just touchdowns at will. A really nice day. And I think, Jesse, you take that and you start to build on it for this offense and really continue to trust him to make plays through the air.
Yeah, that's a good...
Intercept and a turnover in their own territory.
And if you're going to throw a heater like that as a quarterback, you better be accurate because tips lead to picks, especially when you're throwing it over the middle of the field. That time trying to find his tight end, but it is not an accurate throw. It goes up in the air, and the defense makes him pay with the pick.
The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. These last couple of drives, Jesse, have been about the defense making clutch stand. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
At 1st and goal, I think a lot of people get very conservative. Let's run the football. You know, let's be very predictable. You can't be predictable, right, Palmer? You got to be aggressive, but what happened?
Well, I like the idea of calling a pass play down there, but hey, for quarterbacks, it's touchdowns, checkdowns, or throwaways. You are not taking a sack under any circumstance right there. That quarterback's got to do a better job having the clock go off in his head to keep his offense in good position to score.
And you know exactly what time it is when you get down here in the red zone. You got to be able to run the football, but when you got a back like this who punches the ball in the end zone consistently almost every single game, you are going to feed that animal the rock.
Got his man on the right.
And I love the discipline on defense right there. Big third down. So everyone keeping their eyes on the quarterback, rallying to the ball, making a tackle. Great team defense.
And he missed it. No good. And the score will stay right where it is after that miss.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
Here comes that Alabama offense. They turned it over with an interception on their first drive of the game. We're still looking for our initial points of the game. Fires to the big fella. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size. This series dates back to 1895. One of the odd things, guys, is historically the visiting teams have had a lot of success.
And these fans don't like each other. Man, you can feel the hate, the hostility. Both programs so talented, recruited at a high level. These teams have even rematched for a national championship before, Palmer. These two teams are ballers.
And this is a game, too, David, that everybody circles on the calendar at the start of the season. We all know that conference championship, national championship, Heisman Trophy implications are on the line. And the intensity level in this game, it's simply unmatched in college football.
Alabama with a 1st and 10 here. Running back searching for a hole. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Back to pass. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. We'll see if they go back to the air after the incompletion. It's 3rd and 5. Takes it from the gun on 3rd down. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
This defense got a lot of people's attention last week when they had 3 sacks. And you know the offense was watching film, and they saw all these pass rushers and their abilities. They thought they had a good plan, but it's not working right now. They've already given up a sack here early in the game.
Looks as if the Tide will punt it away. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. He makes a fair catch, couple of steps inside his own 25 at the 23-yard line. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. They're going to open this drive with a pass. Gets it to him on the screen. They make the stop, but a good pickup there on 1st down. The Tigers come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. 2nd and short, maybe looking for a shot. Trying to make magic with his feet. The freshman called his own number and kept this drive moving. The offense lines up at the 41 with a 1st and 10. They're going to run it to the right. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. Looking to fire. Got his man. He almost picked up the 1st down on that one, but he'll be just a little bit short. The Tide crowd rolling noise down onto Saban Field on 3rd down. The screen, he's got wheels. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the 1st down. Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. You'd think they would have had a good chance to down that one deep, but the bounce carries it into the end zone for the touchback. Looking to throw on 1st down. That's caught. It's Saunders. Makes the tackle at the 30 after he picked up 10. Passing game kept the drive moving. Here's 1st down. Fires to the tight end. And that had all the makings of bug meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the 1st? Off the bootleg, wants to toss it. Unloads to the wideout. It's incomplete, and I tell you, this sophomore quarterback's lucky to get that one back. Couldn't find his man last time, and that leaves him with a 3rd and 6. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the right. Makes the grab. It's Stokes. And they're getting it rolling with that play to the 42-yard line. Motion from the back. To the air on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces 2nd down. Running backs on either side of the quarterback. Handoff from the gun. That'll be a gain of about 7. Leaves him with 3rd and 3. Trying to pick up a 1st down. They turn to the passing game on 3rd and short. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete. And on 4th down, here comes the field goal unit. He's going to reach for a long one, a 52-yard attempt. Splits the uprights, good. And with that, they break the seal on the scoring. It's 3-0.
How nice is it as a head coach to have a kicker like this? It makes these decisions on 4th down so much easier. Just strut him out there and let him stroke it through the uprights.
On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Wants to throw on 1st down. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot. This will be the final play of the 1st quarter. Off play action. Going deep. And that deep shot's going to wind up incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field. Let's see what the official says. That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. We've reached a break, and Alabama has the lead. And we've come to the end of one, and let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the 2nd. The roar of the crowd trying to fuel this defense to keep them pinned in their own end. They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down. And it was worth the gamble, but the long pass is incomplete. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. And the big deflection on 3rd down forces a 4th down. LSU will bring the punt team on the field. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. Makes the catch, and now looking for just a little bit of daylight. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. Incomplete. He threw that one up for grabs and into traffic. Fortunate to get it back. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Gets it to the back. And he is going to lose yardage. Nowhere to run as he is forced out of bounds. The Crimson Tide a long, long way from the line to gain here on 3rd down. Here's a heat. Just threw that one away to avoid disaster. They bring the punter onto the field now. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. He had all kinds of company as soon as he got it. He had to fight his way back just to get to the line of scrimmage. They'll go right back to him. Keeps it moving for a 3-yard gain to the 24. A veritable Crimson Tide of noise on Saban Field here on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes at the 22.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. He was hoping for a little more running room, but they're able to get him down at the 45. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Didn't get anything done, 3 and out on their last series. They'll try to find a rhythm here. Quickly complete. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down. Last completion moved the sticks in. Let's see if they try it again. They're looking for an advantage to the right. There was just nowhere to cut back. Great job by the defense, and he'll have to take the loss. Second down, they'll go to the air. Fired that thing out in a heartbeat, but it's incomplete. Alabama with a ton of ground to cover on this third down. He's looking downfield to throw. Gets it out quickly. He gets it to the 34-yard line, but excellent third down defense, and fourth down's coming up. They'll send out the kicker to try to salvage this drive. Never a doubt. The lead now 6 here in the second.
And not to be the old guys in the booth, but we are the old guys in the booth. Man, 50-yard field goals used to be really, really hard. Kickers nowadays, man, they are making it look so much easier, and he does right there.
After putting up the field goal, they're set to kick it away. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. They are searching for any type of answer they can find, down 6-0. Short throw to the sideline is complete, and he's out of bounds. He'll be short of the first down. The Tigers can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. On the direct snap, it's Cooks. Found a little room out of the Wildcat that time, just short of the first down. On second down, will they go back to the ground game? Wants to go up top. And the quarterback will take a sack back at the 36.
Really nice play. When you talk about Alabama and their dominance on defense, especially in recent years, it all starts up front. You have to have disruptors playing on the defensive line. Guys that can be versatile and line up at different positions, but create havoc in the backfield. And that's what this guy has been able to do throughout his career.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. LSU will bring the punt team on the field. Hauls it in and looking upfield. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. You want to talk about having a weapon to bail out a drive? David, that's why kickers are so important after that long field goal.
And listen, important is a relative term. We need to make longer passes and get better gains so we don't have to kick long field goals, Palmer, again on offense.
And they've got the weapons to do that, David. They just got to be able to dial those plays up. Guys have to be able to make them one-on-one to make life easier on this kicker, who is so important to this team.
From the gun, he'll try to throw for it on third down. Takes the easy one to the back. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. The Crimson Tide will bring the punt team on the field. He'll try to really get into this one. Here's the return. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. Ready to fire from the pistol. Quarterback on the keeper. Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling there out to the 35. The offense set for a first down play. They'll try the jet sweep here. And he'll lose yardage on this play. Loses 2 yards. Great job by the defense. To the air on second down. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass deep. The Tide crowd rolling noise down onto Zabien Field on third down. And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's loose. And the defense jumps on it, and they get that turnover.
And that is exactly how you draw it up. You get to the quarterback, but you get the football out. You hit him, you try to rake it out. Great job by the defense. Getting the sack, getting the fumble.
No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Give to the back. Nice move to keep running.
You know what? Everybody gets energized in the whole football team. When you got running backs that fight for extra yards and breaks tackles. It's awesome to watch. Everybody literally gets a little jolt of energy because that guy continues to fight for everything he gets.
Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Alabama with a lot of ground to cover here on third and long. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. So this field goal unit has been getting the job done. They've already made a couple here today. It's good. Easy call for the refs. They're now up 9-0.
Give the defense a ton of credit in this sudden change situation. Their offense just coughed it up. And this defense comes out, they go 3 and out, force a field goal. That's a win if you're on defense.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. First snap of this drive will come from their own 17. Quarterback needs to make a better throw there. Incomplete. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Wide receiver going in motion. He'll try it again on 2nd and 10. Almost intercepted. It'll fall incomplete. The defense almost came up with a turnover. Now this offense is just stuck in the mud. They've already punted 4 times, and it's third down now. Quickly complete. A little more space. Open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30. Clock stops momentarily for the first down. They'll hurry to the line. They just keep firing. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down. Back to pass. Rush is on him. Pass rush gets there. Gets home. Gets him down at the 23. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. On the move, looking for a little sliver of hope. They'll put a stop to that return as he gets it up to the 41-yard line. Going to the running game. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3. The offense quickly calls timeout to stop the clock. The Crimson Tide can dig into that playbook here on 2nd and short. Quick completion to the right. And this one will be stopped for no gain. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half. Alabama comes to the line on 3rd and short. They'll try to get it through the air. Fires to the wideout. Working that left side. They've got it inside the 40 at the 39 as they pick up the first down. Looking to throw on first down. Fires to the middle. Wide open downfield. That should be the final play of the first half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Man, great energy in that building. There always is when these two get together, and a fun first half between these rivals. And yes, football is a game of inches, but man, is that really the case when you consider the length of some of these possessions. Look, I'm not an analytics guy, but I do know this. The team that sustains drives and just moves the sticks might be the team that comes out on top today. That said, let's get back to the field and our guys in the booth to see who comes out on top of this rivalry contest.
LSU will put foot to leather to start the second half. On the move from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Here comes that Alabama offense. They got plenty done through the air in the first half, and we'll see if they even need to look for balance as we start the third quarter.
Well, and I think defensively, you understand, like the running game isn't a big part of the plan. I wonder how they adjust and play more coverage to this pass-happy offense.
Yeah, see.
Oh, he's got some space. Now they've got a little room to work with. They're out to the 28 with a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Looking downfield on first down. It's incomplete, and I tell you, this sophomore quarterback's lucky to get that one back. They're dealing with a second and long. Looking to fire. Intercepted, and that's not how you want to start a half. Even with minimal gain on the return, they're working with a short field from the 36. So you come out of the locker room for the second half, and right away, you throw a pick.
Bad news, too, because you go into the locker room and you sort of regroup and you start thinking about how you're going to attack this defense, what adjustments you're going to make. You feel like you got a good plan running out of the locker room, and then to throw a pick right away, man, that is a gut punch.
The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. And points have been hard to come by in this one. They'll try to put together a drive. That one never had a chance. Incomplete. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Using his legs, it's Cook. Just enough room to gain a couple down to the 34. A veritable crimson tide of noise on Saban Field here on third down. Couldn't find a man and just had to throw it away to avoid a negative play. LSU will bring the punt team on the field. They're up to a half-dozen kicks today. And he will boom that punt out of bounds. No chance for a return. Let's see where the officials spot it. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Caught behind the line. It's Knowles. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play. Able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, there was really nowhere to go for the quarterback with that football. He's just trying to check it down to his running back, and the defense was there, and they made the play.
So now it's second and long. Wants to go up top. And it's incomplete, but there's a flag in the backfield. Let's see who the call's on.
Hold it.
This defense happy with how that last play turned out, so they'll decline the penalty. You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. Got his man out of the backfield. He'll be run out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play.
Hold it.
They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. Alabama will bring the punt team on the field. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Handoff from the shotgun. Fighting off the defender. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Now the play fake. Caught in the backfield. It's Cooks. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one. And this offense is desperate to keep this drive alive, trailing by multiple possessions, and it's getting late. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot. Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. Wanted to make sure not to give them a chance for a return as it goes out of bounds. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. It has been a complete uphill struggle for both of these offenses, Jesse.
It sure has. At this point, David, someone's just going to have to step up and make a play. Someone's got to break a tackle, make an incredible catch, and just give some life to this offense.
Whatever you can, whatever it takes. Don't worry about looking pretty. That's out the window. We've already looked really, really ugly. We got to find something that works to put some points on the board.
The Crimson Tide a long, long way from the line to gain here on 3rd down. On the move. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. And here comes the punt team. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Fair catch called for and made. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. They haven't really been able to light up this scoreboard, but putting points up would be huge here. And he didn't have a whole lot of operating room after the juke, not much room to run. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. They'll run play action. Unleashes one deep. And it's picked off in the end zone, but no, the officials are saying he was out of bounds, and the quarterback might want to rethink taking a chance like that. Takes the handoff. It's Cooks. Breaks into the open. Gets it all the way inside the 20-yard line to the 19 before being hauled down.
It was so important this offense was able to find a way to get in the rhythm, and the running game is now helping that. 2 straight punts on their previous 2 drives. This drive, though, they're having a little bit...
Got enough space, and he's on his way. He'll go all the way. Touchdown, Tigers! Ready to try the point after. And with the extra point, every little bit counts as they get closer. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, just wanted to get you a quick update on a game happening in the Big Ten. Central Michigan is in trouble. Check that. They're in a world of trouble because unless I'm reading that scoreboard wrong, that does not look very good. They're trailing by 22 to Penn State. We'll circle back to this Big Ten battle. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Back to pass. Grab behind the line. It's Saunders.
You know, tight ends are such matchup nightmares and problems for defense. They're too big for DBs to cover, and they're too fast for linebackers to cover. You saw it right there.
It's complete on the right side. He'll make a play on 3rd down. He's got enough for the first as they mark it at the 32. Wants to go up top on 1st down. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Power football with the run. Finding open areas. He'll go out of bounds right at the 40-yard line as this offense continues to show great patience. On 3rd and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. Stopped in the backfield, and this defense has forced him into 4th down. Punt is on its way. Fair catch is made, and they'll mark it at the 19. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. This is a game of swings and momentum, and a great opportunity here after scoring on the last drive, getting a stop, and now you have the football back.
They're playing well right now in all 3 phases, and they're complementing each other. So now, David, it's up to the offense here. It's up to this quarterback to lead this offense down the field to get a score.
Yeah, and to stay aggressive, to understand we've had success, we got the score in the right way. Now I don't need to change anything. Go back to your go-to plays. That's now got you some momentum back in your favor.
Another incompletion on 3rd down. LSU will bring the punt team on the field. They'll look to pin them deep. Hauls it in at the 40. He was able to get that ball up to the 48-yard line before he stopped on the return. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. Under fire. Finds the tight end. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. After that last completion, it's 2nd down. Looking to fire. Oh, they're after him. Hauls it in. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. The Crimson Tide need just a few inches here on 3rd down. Tries to slither forward on the sneak. Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the 1st down. Looking to throw on 1st down. What a grab with one hand. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the 1st down. The play action fake. Here comes the heat. Can't find a man, and he'll be knocked down at the 40. And no shortage of the big boys coming out of Baton Rouge as LSU's defense in the backfield again.
Yeah, you talk about tall, long, athletic, guys that get after the quarterback, LSU, they typically have a lot of those guys. That's a really fun thing to have when you're a defensive coordinator.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. One quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic 4th quarter finish. After swapping ends of the field, that gave him a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on 3rd down. Going for it all. And good coverage and better hands by the defender to knock it down in the end zone. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. 57 yards out, and he powers it through the uprights.
How about it? 50-plus, no problem. Big leg, nice accuracy. That's a big-time kick for this young man.
So after putting 3 on the board, the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. And good work by the coverage team to knock down the return man. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. Last drive was a quick 3 and out, and now time is even more of a factor to get something going. On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the hit. A nifty pickup there. And the Tigers can really attack on this 2nd and short. Caught in the backfield, it's Yates. He's close to the 1st down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. The Tide crowd rolling noise down onto Saban Field on 3rd down. Really nice run there. Good, solid pickup, and they'll move the sticks with a 1st down. The Tigers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down
defense has been so dominant up front. You've seen it in these passing situations. That now the 7th sack of the game.
The Tigers trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Got his man quickly. They make the stop. Not a whole lot of ground picked up there, and they'll have work to do to get the 1st down. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Bring in the heat. Fires on the run. Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. And he'll be marked down, but what a play to come up with that interception.
You got to be so careful too, Dave, because on 3rd and long, they're playing their nickel now. They've got extra DBs on the field. Those windows are going to open and close really, really quickly. And I think that time the quarterback got a little too greedy trying to fit that football in a small window.
He did, and I like the zone coverage too because everybody's staring at the quarterback, so you can get a really good break on the football, knowing where the sticks are. They break on it, and they get the big interception.
Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Slings it downfield. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Well, will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. They've got a good chunk of ground to cover on 3rd and long from the 41. From the gun, wants to pass. And they can't complete the bullet pass on 3rd down. Looks as if the Tide will punt it away. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. Fair catch is made at the 15-yard line, and that's where they'll start this drive. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. They'll start this drive with a pass. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. From the shotgun, they'll run it. They'll knock him down after a pickup of 1 to the 18. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise. Backing this defense on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. That pass is incomplete. Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. Looks it all the way in and now turns his attention upfield. Little pressure on the coverage team there, and they'll stop him at the 47-yard line. They'll go back to work on offense. They'll move the wide receiver. The give to the tailback. Powers through the defender. Able to pick his way forward for a decent game before the defense gets him down. Alabama with a multitude of options on 2nd and short. The option look. Now the toss. Perfectly timed on that pitch, and they pick up the 1st down on the play. They'll put it in play from the 41 on 1st down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Trying to surprise him with the pass. Working the middle. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the air on 1st down. Oh, it gives him the tough stiff arm. They'll pick up 4, 2nd and 6 coming. The Crimson Tide snaps it from the red zone. Trying play action. Finds his big tight end. He stopped just short of the goal line at the 1. An explosive play has him set up. He'll keep it himself. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama! They extend this lead, and it looks as if they are going to make it 2 wins in a row.
And that is a drive and a score they absolutely had to have. Now making it a two-possession game late in this one. It wasn't going to be enough to just play it safe, play it conservative, punt the ball away, and count on your defense. They were aggressive. They mixed it up, but getting that score, that is huge for their win probability now.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup in the Big Ten, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Cincinnati is trailing right now, but let's be honest. The program that turned out Desmond Ridder should never be counted out of any game. It's still a one-score game. They're trailing by 8 to Ohio State. Just another week in the Big Ten where the only constant is chaos, fellas.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And the Tigers with a second and short to keep this drive moving. Wants to go up top. Quarterback on the move, still looking. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the first down, and he slides in safely. LSU right back to the line. Wants to throw on first down. Trying to make magic on the scramble. It's incomplete. Good job by the defense sticking with its coverage. Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Back to pass. Catch in the middle. It's Avant. Good pickup, a little bit short of the sticks. A veritable crimson tide of noise on Zabien Field here on third down. Oh, he's going to try to hit him deep. Got his man to the left. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17. LSU moving the ball quickly down the field. They're looking to pass from the red zone. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Looking to fire. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot. Third down play in the red zone, and this crowd is at fever pitch. From the gun, wants to pass. Another incompletion on third down. Down by multiple possessions. They can't come up empty on this drive in the fourth quarter. They'll go for it on fourth down. Let's it fly. Drop the football and they'll turn it over on downs. And they are stopped on fourth down. That decision will be questioned. They'll keep it on the ground, trying to milk the clock. Quick timeout call by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. The Crimson Tide can dig into that playbook here on second and short. They'll leave it with him. Gets the nose of the ball to the 25, give him one. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. On third and short, the power run here. He did not make it a stonewall on third down. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and this offense just a couple of minutes away from putting one in the win column. They booted away on fourth down. Might have thought he'd want to try to pick up a few yards there, but he's content with making the fair catch right around the 35-yard line. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Snagged out of the air.
And this offense just hasn't found a way to kind of open it up. Like, they haven't found those explosive plays. It feels like the defense is kind of strangling them and staying really close to the line of scrimmage because of their lack of their big play ability over the top. This offense has to dial something up.
Offense rushing to the line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped for the first down. They'll try to get it off quickly. The sure hands, it's Avant.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead, it's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines.
A shot toward the end zone. And the throw downfield winds up incomplete, and there's a good reason for that. This guy was being mugged by the defender. How many times do you think they're going to run that one back in film study? Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. That's a penalty, that's a penalty, that's a penalty. It'll be a long film study for him. Quarterback just flat missed him, incomplete. They're dealing with a second and long. Motion from the wide receiver. Right back to the air on 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen. And he never had a chance. As soon as he caught it, the defense was right there. Sprinting to the line to try to get this one off. Clock's running. Looking left. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. No signs of any kind of kickers. They'll leave the offense out there to try to move those chains. On 4th down, going to the air. Deep shot for the end zone. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. They thought they had a good plan, but it did not work. Quarterback will take a knee. The defense can stop it one more time, and we are close to being all she wrote. It's really easy to get caught up in the emotion of a rivalry game. We did, and certainly this was a huge win.
Yeah, and you started, you circled it, you were ready for this team. This is the rivalry you put a lot of stock in all offseason. You're talking about this game in particular. You go out and get the dub. It's a relief because you definitely wanted this team.
And it's bragging rights for everybody, for the coaching staff, for the fans, but how about for the players as well? For another 365 days, you can talk about how you went out, you dominated, and you beat your rival. A lot of these guys are going to go on to the NFL. They'll be in locker rooms next year. They'll be talking about this for a long time.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.